The next thing that we'll look at after sine law is cosine law. And again, we can use cosine law to solve for unknown side lengths as well as for unknown angles. But we need to understand the conditions under which we can use the cosine law to do that. So if you have an acute triangle that is not a right angle, okay, it's like we have here, to use the unknown side length, you have to have what I like to call the scissor pattern. Okay, so the scissor pattern requires you to have two side lengths, okay, side by side, and the enclosed angle. Okay, so if you have, and if you literally take your fingers and you do like a scissor, like you would with paper, rock, scissors, around the angle, you've got the angle in two side lengths, you can use that to figure out this unknown side here. Okay, so that is going to be your scissor pattern, and you can rotate your fingers around in order to find the scissor pattern uh, for cosine law. Now that you have the scissor pattern, the equation that you're going to end up using is going to be a variant of this equation. Okay, so a squared is going to equal b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times the cos of angle A. Okay? If you had side B, then it would be, if you're looking for side B, your equation would be b squared is equal to a squared plus c squared minus 2ac times cos B. And if you were looking for side C, it'd be c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2 times a times b times the cos of angle C. If, however, you are looking for an unknown angle, the situation is different. Okay? If you're looking for an unknown angle, what you need to have is you need to know the lengths of all three side lengths. Okay? If you know all three side lengths, okay, then so then you can solve for an unknown angle using cosine law. Okay? And again, the equations to do that, I'll do this one in blue just to mix it up a little bit, okay, is that the cos of angle A is going to equal b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2 times b times c. If you were looking for the cos of angle, if you're looking for angle B, you would have cos B is equal to a squared plus c squared minus b squared, all divided by 2 times a times c. And finally, if you were looking for angle C, you'd have cos C is equal to a squared plus b squared minus c squared, all divided by 2 times a times b. Okay, so our cosine law uses uses some different equations, but they're all variants of the same equation. Okay, if you were to rearrange the equations, they'd all end up being the same. But the conditions under which you can use cosine law to solve for an unknown side length or an unknown angle are a little different, because we only use cosine law when we have the scissor pattern for an unknown side length, and you have to have all three known side lengths in order to solve for an angle using the cosine law. Okay, so unlike sine law where you have to have a side angle pairing, there's no such thing in cosine law. In cosine law, it's either the scissor pattern or all three side lengths to solve for an unknown side length or an unknown angle, respectively.